Greetings, Groaners.
I am Count Dracula. Will you come in?
No, I'm your groaniest host, Mr. E. Groaner. You join us for episode 105, and you can wish us a happy 3rd birthday. Yes, the podcast has been around for literally 3 birthdays now. 2022, 2023, and now 2024. Yeah. So, in the creepy season, that is Halloween. It is our 3rd birthday officially on the 29th of the month by the fluff of a witch's cat. All these years of groaning. I don't know where it comes from or how when Dracula's behind we went worldwide, but we have. And it's all thanks to you out there who have been with the show since however when you joined. Some of you have been with us since the start, some haven't. Thanks to you either way. Of course, it'll soon be Halloween, so we're rolling 2 things together into one show once more. Admin Nicole has been fact-finding for Halloween yet again, so full props to her once again. And speaking of which, here is Halloween fact number 1. Magician Harry Houdini sadly passed away on Halloween. He was known for his stupendous illusions. He defied all logic and reason in 1908, when that is when he should have died. He somehow managed to escape from a water-filled milk can in which he was chained and shackled up. To present day, this stunt still holds up as one of his most well-known tricks and put him into the history books. It seems fitting that he shuffled off this mortal coil, not with an erroneous stunt, but on 31st of October 1926, when his appendix burst. Cheers, Nicole. More facts to come later. Over to me now for my groans. Lack of trick-or-treaters. So the area around my house and the local area is more or less pitch black on Halloween, so that means no trick-or-treaters. Why don't more of them use torches? Oh wait, I know why. Because in the UK, not even trick-or-treaters are safe from being mugged for their sweets by some sad git. The one year I buy sweets, I bet that'll be the day they come to my door. Unable to think of podcast topics. So many out there think it's easy to do a podcast, and others think it's hard. It is so hard, especially with a show like this. A lot of time, it is trying to keep things fresh, and many other times the mind just seizes up when you're trying to think of topics to groan about, or to put in the games. Horror film ads on YouTube. Now I love my classic horror films. The Night of the Living Dead trilogy, Dawn, Day, they're my all-time favourites. But I'd rather bin an unskippable ad for Smile 2. That keeps popping up on YouTube at certain times of night, regardless of what I'm watching. I hate the advert for the first one as well. I don't like a lot of modern horror, but I especially hate that. Why can't I skip it? Because usually I'm too comfortable to get up in time. YouTube, please allow ad blockers or ad skippers, which allow a content creator to still generate money for their content. That's my Hallow Groans up in a cloud of smoke for another week. I'll be groaning again next week when I strap my groans to a firework. On to our first game now. But I've got to ask, are the groaners live ready? Yes, they are. You at home groaner, be you non-Halloweened up or Halloweened up? Yep, you're ready as well. It's time for our first game, the 5-point countdown. Clue 5 for 5 points. You might consider me unlucky. Clue again, clue 5 for 5 points. You might consider me unlucky. Go Groaners Live, give me your answers please. Those at home, you know what to do. Okay, someone's put a black cat. Someone's put darkness. Someone's just wrote black. Someone's put a cat. What else do we have here? Someone's wrote a witch. Okay, I didn't know witches were unlucky, but okay. Someone's wrote T3. I don't know what that means. Oh, 13. That's mean deny test corona, sorry. Someone's wrote 13. Okay, good guesses across the board. Clue 4 for 4 points. We have many varieties of us. A clue again, clue 4 for 4 points. We have many varieties of us. Go Groaners Live. If you've got any more guesses, chuck them up. Those at home, say your answer out loud. You never know. You might score. You don't know. Someone's put in furry creature. Okay, I don't know where that came from, but okay, Groaner, I'll allow that, whatever the heck that creature is. Clue 3 for 3 points. You might not see me in the darkness. Clue 3 for 3 points. You might not see me in the darkness. Someone's gone very Halloween themed here and put a killer even before I said the next bit. Groaners live, put your answers please. Those at home, press pause, answer, unpause. Ooh, the Groaners have no more guesses live. Okay. Couple more seconds, Groaners, if no one else types. I'm going to move along. Oh! Moving on. Clue 2 for 2 points. In media, a witch always has one of us. If someone puts broom on here, I'm going to quit the podcast now. It is not a broom. I'll say that right now to save that. Groaners live, put your answers up please. Those at home, you know what to do, and while you're thinking, I'll say the clue one more time. Clue 2 for 2 points. In media, a witch always has one of us. Give you a little bit more time, Groaners. A little bit more time. Someone's wrote potions. Think about what the other clues were. They're not all separate, Groaner. They're all related to the same thing. Okay, moving on. Here we go. Clue 1 for 1 point. Your final clue. Clue 1 for 1 point. I am the most dominant fur colour of my species. Final time I'm going to say the clue. Clue 1 for 1 point. I am the most dominant fur colour of my species. Groaners live, give me your answers please. Those at home, press pause, answer, unpause. Okay, I think the Groaners live have put all their guesses in. Give you at home a couple more seconds, Groaners. Oh! That's it. Job done. That's it. Remember, you only score points when you first got answer. If you change your mind, you only get points again if your later answer is revealed to be right. So say if you were right at clue 5, but you change your mind at clue number 4, you'd have to change it back to the right answer at clue number 3. You get it, Groaners? Okay. We've had our countdown, but now it's my duty to ask, why oh why? As of writing this episode, we are still in October, yet I've seen things on sale for Christmas in September. Come on, people, we haven't even got Halloween or Bonfire Night or Remembrance Day over yet. What is this urge to get Christmas stuff out there as soon as possible? What next? Moving Christmas to July and having Halloween in February? Having stuff out for Christmas too early? I've just got to ask, why oh why? You know, I've groaned and asked why, but it'd be rude of me, especially in this case, to not let our special guest groaner have their turn with the audience groan. I was sleeping soundly the day before the show, when suddenly Frankenstein's monster's fist grabbed me around my throat. He lifted me into the air and pulled me close. He then, in a very groany voice, told me, "Bleh, I hate when people call me Frankenstein, and I hate fire too." With that, he slammed me down and proceeded to walk right out of my house via my wall. Cheers, monster. Good groan. Yes, for horror and non-horror fans, Frankenstein was a scientist, and his creation was the monster who also hates fire. Now, if you got a verbal groan like the monster there, you can give it to me in person if you know me, or admin Nicole, or you can drop off your why or whys, your oh lucky or unlucky stories, your what there's, your suggestions, your feedback, or any of the content you feel you want to add or just want to simply put out there. You can do it all via the following. thegroanzonepod@gmail.com is the email address. You can find us on Facebook groups under the Groan Zone podcast. You can contact myself, that's Mr. E. Groaner, on Facebook Messenger, or you can hit up admin Nicole on Nicole Amos, also on Facebook Messenger. You can find the show on Discord under the Groan Zone, where we usually record every single Friday at 8:30 Greenwich Mean Time. That may change in future, we will have to see, but if anything changes, we'll do our best to let you know ahead of time. And of course, you can put a comment on any episode and it'll get picked up. That is, if it's okay to be reviewed and also added to the show. Keep it clean, Groaners. Keep it clean. Fresh out of groans for another show. But plenty of content left to come. Admin Nicole has another fact at the ready with Halloween fact number 2. Thriller wasn't always Thriller. Michael Jackson's? I'm leaving this in. Enduring hit has been a fan favourite since its release in 1982. But you might be interested to know that the classic song almost had a different name. Writer Rod Temperton originally wrote the tune as Starlight. Just imagine a world in which we'd all be singing, "This is Starlight, Starlight Night." It kind of the same beat but hasn't got the same ring to it. So yeah, I'm glad Michael Jackson came up with Thriller there. And speaking of Thriller, let's give the floor to Admin Nicole for her creepy corner. Your story for Halloween is a slice of transformation. For the first few years, Joe would scavenge from dumpsters, eating whatever healthy food was left behind. Whatever he could to stay alive. Yet in the last few years, he began to wonder if this new world was as bad as he had imagined it. Sure, a sentient cake took over the town and brainwashed everyone, but he did create that cake. Well, him and the freak Storm did anyway. After a while, he gave up trying to figure out how it all happened. As he began to step foot into the town, it was vastly different from what he had imagined. It was like sweets had merged with people. There was no chaos, no strife, everyone was just happy. He went home, sneaking his way around to avoid being seen. As he peered through a window, he saw his parents. The brainwashing over and them just being happy. Smiling and laughing together. Real, genuine laughter. Something he hasn't seen from them in so very long. They were gingerbread men now, yet Joe had never seen his parents so happy. It didn't matter if they didn't remember him anymore. Seeing them happy was more than enough. Joe even started to wander the streets slowly, losing the need to hide away, although he did notice a strange girl starting to follow him. She would show up whenever he went, sometimes just from the corner of his eye, but he knew she must have been after something. She appeared to be the same age as Joe, yet she was one of the new sweets. She had to be. Sometime after turning the town, the cake began creating sentient sweets who would sometimes take on humanoid forms. It intrigued Joe, but he still wasn't sure what was right anymore. 10 years had passed. 10 long years of Joe exploring this strange new town and all it meant. The darkened sky, the permanent moon, the endless peace. It was too good to be true. It had to be. There was a small patch of grass at Cliff's Edge that Joe had grown fond of. He could see a vast expanse of land from there, far outside the town, even though it was still inside this bubble, or parallel universe, or whatever it was. He could see the dark forest in the north, and even a frozen mountain to the west. As afraid and unsure as he was still intrigued. That's when a familiar girl sat next to him. The one had been spying on him and following him around for years now. She introduced herself as Caramel Spice. She was born in this town, formed from a lump of caramel and blessed by the great cake. As soon as she laid eyes on Joe all those years ago, she knew he was her destiny. Joe was unsure of everything, but her words were sincere. He knew that much. She helped her parents with their bakery. Caramel, of course, was her speciality. As she showed Joe with great joy, she had a piece of caramel from her pocket and showed Joe how her hands would change form and begin to drip. From that, she was able to make a brand new lump of caramel which she could shape and design to her wish. In this town, they were what they eat, and eating what they were made them stronger. Joe sighed as he ate the newly formed caramel that was offered to him. He looked over at Caramel and simply asked why she loved this place so much. Her skin was as soft and smooth as caramel was. Even the colour reminded him of the butterscotch he used to love. Could it really be alright for him to let go of everything after all these years and begin to live again? Do you remember a few years back when you ran into the peanut family? Strange for you, I bet, to find the nuts haven't changed from your world. They're just alive. Nuts tend to run the farms and provide the town with more nuts. Everything here can be confusing at times, but we run with it. It's our lives. When you stepped on their car by accident and crushed it, you didn't just walk away, you got them home safe. You apologised and you even fixed their car. I knew from then why you created our great cake, even if you didn't know, she explained. Joe was just more confused. Yet he did to some extent understand that she saw things in him that he would never see in himself, and maybe that wasn't so bad. However, he had met with the cake before, and he knew the cake wanted him to help protect this town. That would mean truly letting go of the past and eating a slice of the cake he created. Joe wasn't sure he could, and Carmel knew this. She took his hand, and with as much sincerity and honesty as she could show, she asked Joe to eat her. She thought it would make him feel better without protecting the town if he would eat her first. When Joe refused, and then struggled to look at her, she offered him a bite instead, trying to show Joe her resolve once more. Joe still refused, but it did make him think. He barely knew this girl, despite being around the same age, yet for years she had been following him, seeing the good that he doesn't even see in himself. In some way, it was as if she knew the sides of Joe that he wished he could always become. So he stood up and offered her his hand. He asked if she was willing to support him through something far greater than this, and without hesitation she grabbed his hand with both her hands and smiled. She knew he was her destiny, and now Joe was starting to see it too. So at the doors of the great banquet hall where the cake lived, Joe ordered the guards to move, and when they tried to stop Carmel going in, Joe warned them to think twice. The cake was grateful to her for being the one to finally convince Joe to join them. Joe warned the cake of his conditions. He would protect the town and give his life for the town, but he refused to start wars or cause any unnecessary strife that would put his people in danger. He also wished that no harm would come to Carmel by accepting this life. They had much to learn, but Joe was finally at peace with his choice thanks to her, and he wasn't losing the possibility of what could be with her. The great cake agreed, and sliced off a part of itself for Joe to eat, knowing it would always grow back. Joe breathed his last breath, a sigh of relief as a heavy burden finally lifted from his shoulders over the guilt of what he had done. It was mere moments after the cake eating that Joe fainted. A sweet sleep like death, like a butterfly emerging from its cocoon, a new being emerged from what was once Joe. As the being emerged, Joe's body turned to ash, and a small breeze blew it away, a nod to the freedom and the new life he could now have. Standing where Joe once stood was no longer a human, a new suite to help protect and expand the town. Joe was no more. He was now a soldier to fight and protect the town, the one in charge of everyone's safety, and Carmel knew, as she looked at this new form, she had made the right choice in him. There, covered in white, standing where Joe took his last steps, was General Marshmallow. Another Halloween hot one from Nicole there. I must ask Nicole, is that continued from last Halloween? If so, well picked up. If not, still cracking as a standalone story. Taking us over to Game Land now, with a mixture of podcast and horror, we have Yes or BS. Round 1, and I'm sure Groaners Live are ready. They are. You at home, Groaner, you're still listening, you're clearly ready. Round 1, all about the Groan Zone. A. This podcast will be ending before its next birthday. B. In its idea phase, the podcast started out as a horror podcast. Or C. Mr. E. Groaner, aka me, will never do a face reveal. Groaners Live, answers please. Those at home, you know what to do. Lots of C's coming in there, Groaners. C's coming in. Someone's put a B up there as well. More B's coming in. C's coming in. Oh, we're getting a split, Groaners. I'm getting that split feeling. Okay. Gotcha there. Round 2. Horror firsts. A. The House of the Devil is considered by many to be the first horror movie. B. Dracula, 1931, was Universal Pictures' first monster movie. C. When a Priest Comes Calling, 1993, was the first in a failed religious horror movie franchise made by the defunded British horror company Scare 'em Daft. The film has 6% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Go Groaners Live, give me your answers please. Those at home, you know the score. A's flying in there. Any more Groaners? B's flying in as well. Couple of C's. More A's and more B's. Okay, we have a nicely timed, fully all answers from round 2 there. Final round, round 3. What direction? A. H.R. Giger came up with the design of the now famous Alien in a series of illustrations he made. However, he was also supposed to direct the first Alien movie instead of Ridley Scott. B. Steven Spielberg has never directed a horror movie. Or C. The director of Jeepers Creepers was a convicted felon. Go Groaners Live, answers please. Those at home, you know what to do. C's flying in across the board there again. B's coming in there as well. More C's flying in. B's and C's, B's and C's, yep. Okay, everyone's avoiding option A. Okay? Were you lucky there, Groaners? I'll tell you later. But this next specimen of human, well, I think he was definitely unlucky. Yep, it's time for unlucky. A man who identifies himself as trans-species was shot by 2 hunters in South Carolina. Why? He was, what I'm going to say is speciesing it up, as he had deer's horns and full deer body paint on, complete with a modified nose and mouthpiece. I mean, what the flippin' blue hell, man? If he had died, would they have eaten him before they realised? I'd hope not, as bloomin' deers don't walk on their back 2 legs. What a lemon. Too dumb for both species in my opinion, human and deer. I can't get over that. I can't, he did survive, but I just can't get over that. Moving the show along is our zero of the week. It's gonna have to be the Australian senator who demanded an apology from our king for things that happened eons in the past. She also declared he wasn't her king. How dense must one be to scream and yell in a king's face? No wonder he didn't give the apology, nor would I. Discuss things civilly instead of screaming and yelling. I mean no disrespect to Aboriginal people, but there's a right way to do things in this day and age. Now I bet you're wondering where or if you scored points, Groaners. Let me reveal all with the game answers. Where the hell am I from last week? Your answer was, of course, the Bermuda Triangle. Yes or BS. Round 1. All about the Groan Zone. This podcast will be ending before its next birthday. False. No way in hell. B. In its idea phase, the podcast started out as a horror podcast. False. You'd think so with the title how it is, but no. It's always been a comedy podcast. C. Mystery Groaner, aka me, will never do a face reveal. 100% correct, Groaners. Those that know me, or those that have seen me when I've asked them the famous question of, what annoys you in life? You know my face. Other than that, this face of mine will never be revealed on the internet relating to the podcast. Round 2. Horror firsts. A. The House of the Devil is considered by many to be the first horror movie. This is actually correct. It features demons, skeletons, and a creepy castle. It only lasts 3 minutes. And it was also made in 1896. B. Dracula, 1931, was Universal Pictures' first monster movie. False. Depending on sources, it was either Dr. Jekyll, or Jekyll as some people say, and Mr. Hyde, made in 1913 when they went by Independent Moving Pictures, or The Hunchback of Notre Dame in 1923 when they called themselves Universal. Or C, I should also say, Groaners, if you went for A or B in the first round, you've got no points. If you went for A so far in round 2, you've got points. But if you went for B, you've now got no points. C. When a Priest Comes Calling, 1993, was the first in a failed religious horror movie franchise made by the defunded British horror company Scare 'em Daft. The film has 6% on Rotten Tomatoes. This is entirely false. Both the film and company don't exist. I made them both up. And if any groaner went for that option, you've got no points. At all. You blanked. Round 3. What direction? A. H.R. Giger came up with the design of the now famous Alien in a series of illustrations he made. However, he was also supposed to direct the first Alien movie instead of Ridley Scott. Absolutely false. It was always supposed to be Ridley Scott. He picked it up and he ran with it. H.R. Giger just did the illustrations. B. Steven Spielberg has never directed a horror movie. This is true. He has never directed a full horror movie, only ones with elements of horror in, such as Jaws. He's never ever directed a 100% horror movie, like you've never seen Spielberg direct Dracula before. You know, he could in future, I don't know. C. The director of Jeepers Creepers was a convicted felon. True. I'm not going to name him because of how disgusting his crime is, nor will I say what he did. Because of this, I have never seen the movies, and I don't intend to until they no longer exist. So if you went for B there, you got points. If you went for A or C, sorry Groaners, you've scored no points in Yes or BS. But A lot of you, I bet a lot of you scored points in the next one. The 5-point countdown. Your answer was, of course, a black cat. And here is our final game of the show. It is our Halloween admin Nicole's Anagram Anxiety. Your anagram is Gus Lion. That's G-U-S, Lion. Your clue, the original name for trick-or-treating. Good luck, Groaners. You might be treated with points, and I hope some of you out there scored points in this week's show. Taking us out again is admin Nicole's final Halloween fact. The Nightmare Before Christmas is based on a poem. Whether you believe the 1993 film is a Christmas or Halloween movie, some say Die Hard is a Christmas movie, I'm sticking with that, I think Die Hard is a Christmas movie, you may not know that the stop-motion animated feature is actually based on a poem written by none other than its producer Tim Burton, who actually wrote the poem in 1982. With that being said, Groaners, I hope we dropped some points and facts and fun on you. Once again, Happy Birthoween, or Happy Hallowday to the podcast. The word for our pod birthday and Halloween merged together. Have fun, stay groany, and stay safe. Take care. Boo boo. Bye bye.
Ha 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 ha!